What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's happening, friends and family? How y'all feeling today? It is a Thursday, July 31st, 2025. July will be officially over. Will be officially over at midnight tonight. We're going into August. August, ladies and gentlemen. Time is flying by. Time is flying by. Y'all be wasting time, not doing what you want to do. You already starting to plan for your New Year's Eve resolution. I'm going to get my finances together. I'm going to start really focusing. Year after year, day after day. That is the play. What's going on, family? How y'all feel? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I ran into my former director, my former manager yesterday. I was surprised. I was surprised. Hey, you know what it's like when people try to act like they don't see you? It was one of them situations. They be trying to act like that they don't see you. Ran into him yesterday. And it was one of those situations. I was, you know, God blesses me so much because when I run into people a lot of times, I be on my best. Like everything was tight. Car had just came from the car wash. Fresh as hell. Cause I told y'all that when I leave out of here a lot of times that I go ahead and put on my Sunday's best. So when I'm walking around, sometimes I'm all blacked out. Other times, most of the time, I try to step out a little bit. Fresh as hell. Rolex was glistening on the arm and all of that. And so he tried to act like at first he was trying to act like he didn't see me. But you know, I'm the type of person, I'm not just going to walk by. Hey, what's going on, my friend? First, I'm going to wait for a couple minutes and see if you acknowledge me. And so I'm talking to all of the different people, whatever. Hey, what's going on? And as soon as I'm talking to him, this group of white men. I guess they was like some professional guys. Hey, are you Anton Daniels? I said, yeah. Oh man, I love your stuff. I watch you all the time. You are so awesome. It's like God put everything in motion right then and there. So he's like, and ironically enough, let me tell you how the universe works. This world is crazy how things work. I had just literally just looked at a notification from my former manager and that he just joined this new company or whatever. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say the company and none of that. But I just got the notification maybe like a day before. Like the day before yesterday, I got the notification or whatever, something on LinkedIn. Oh, such and such has joined this new company. So I had clicked on it. I'm like, oh, that's dope. Good for him. Nice, awesome. So then when I seen him yesterday, and I don't know how the universe works, it's almost like, everything just kind of like aligns. The world be super small and all of that. But anyway, so I had become familiar with the fact that he was already that. And so I seen him yesterday and he's like, and then I walk up to him. So, after he's watching, right? He's behind me, he's next to me the whole time. Hey, what's going on? I said, what's, I walked up, hey, what's going on? Oh my God, it's you, Anton. I didn't notice you with the glasses on. I said, so we doing this again? We gonna do this again? He said, what you mean? I said, you don't remember you pulled the same stunt when we was in the interview. Then he started laughing. A lot of y'all may not be familiar, and I've told this a lot on the Patreon and stuff like that. When I first interviewed at the company at Flagstar, I used to recently work at Flagstar Bank. That was the last company that I retired from at the end of 2024. So I worked there. They had recruited me, and then I went in for the interview process. And when I went in for the interview process, he was sitting over there. And so the first 2 or 3 minutes into the interview process, he picks up his phone. He does the cross leg like this, and then he acts like he's not listening anymore to anything that I'm saying. So he's typing on his phone for the next 7 minutes or so or something like that. And I stopped the interview and I said, I'm sorry. Is it a disconnect in here somewhere? And so it's 3 women over there and they loving me. And he's sitting over here and he's typing on his phone. I said, is it a disconnect that you're not paying attention right now? And the other girls was like, because he was the big dog. He was big dog in the company at the time. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, you acting like I'm not the best candidate and that I don't warrant your attention for you to pay attention. And then, I made my pitch. That's when I got your attention. And that's when I'm going to make my pitch. And so I was just helping them to understand. I said, listen, I'm the best person that you're going to ever run across. It's the reason that they recruited me. I'm interviewing you just as much as you interviewing me. And we going to have some conversations because I need you to ask me some tough questions so I can help you to understand the value add that I'm going to be to this company. And so we got into it from that lens. And I made a huge impression on them. And I wind up taking a position and all of that type of stuff. But anyways, I told him, I said, so we going to do this again, the same thing. So that's our running joke when we run into each other. But he's doing really well. I said, I heard you, went to this new company. Here's the caveat, right? Yeah, man. I just put you up on my phone. I didn't realize that you were as big on YouTube that you were. I said, yeah, I do really well. He said, we might need to talk. I said, I don't know. I know what that means. I ain't, no. He said, no, man, I'm at this new company and I might need some good people around me. You might want to take an opportunity to think about what the pitch is going to be first before you even turn it down. I can't do it. I can't. I don't have the capacity to do another corporate stint. I can't give another 2, 3 years. 1, 2, 3 years. Oh, I can't do it. But it is a blessing. It is a blessing. And the reason that it is a blessing is because it confirms to me that I'll always have certain things in my back pocket based off of the impression, the job that I've done, the relationships that I've forged, And I can always make a phone call and say, and he's an Asian guy. He's an Asian guy. I can always make a phone call and say, hey, where you at? Bring me in. And you always gonna have a bag. But I can't, man. I can't. I don't have the capacity to do it. I'm not going into the office because I know they're gonna probably ask me, could I come into the office? I can't do it, bro. I can't. I can't. And I be knowing people be knowing who I am. Like they be knowing what you did. They like you know who's significant, who's doing what it is. So I know he was probably already familiar with my channel and stuff like that. So yeah, man. So that was my day yesterday. How was y'all day? What up, Ava? How was y'all day? Let me read some of these super chats and these cash apps. See what y'all talking about. We can go ahead and get started with the show. I do. I got my own office. I'm not going into nobody else's office. Latrell says, what up? What's going on, Latrell? I appreciate you. They call me Mr. Bibb says, just showing support to the fellow Detroiter. Shout out to my Detroit brethren. I'm not really impressed with this mayoral race right now. EB Miles Davis in the building. Thank you, EB, for the 50 ball. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. I sincerely appreciate your contribution into what we got going on. Mike, that dude on Cash App is doing this thing. Thank you, Mike, that dude. One of the most consistent people I've ever met in my entire life. EB Miles Davis says, good morning, AD, and keep up the great work. Thank you, EB. Now, Nicole, where's that black blazer, friend? Happy Thursday. It's over there. The blazer is for Fridays. Blazer Fridays, all right? If you want to see the blazer, we're going to do that on Friday. I've been looking at it too, like, dang, I need to put on that black blazer. The ladies was loving AD on the black blazer. Black Blazer Friday, all right? So that's going to be for tomorrow. I know the nurses love AD. Shout out to my girl V Nicole in the building. We got after hours tonight, and I will be posting. What up, Naomi? I will be posting information about the Patreon live stream shortly after the live stream that we're on right now. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, let's get started with the show. First things first, we gonna go local. So let me give you the what we gonna do today. All right, now that we got some people in here, once we get over 1,000 people in here, then that's when we start the show. Which over 1,000 people came in a little earlier than I expected. So this is the show. We're going to we're gonna do 6 subjects. All right, we're doing 6 today. We're gonna tackle what's going on in Philly. I'll let you know that because we're going to talk about that first. So we'll just get right into that. We got to go Philly, and then we're going to go Georgia. We're going to go down to Georgia. It's a lot of scammers that was in Georgia. A man was recently arrested for taking out upwards of close to $10 million in PPP loans. So we're going to get into that. We got to get into Kamala Harris. She's recently said that she's not going to run for governor of California. We're going to talk about what that means. Shannon Sharpe recently talked about his experience of getting fired at ESPN, Gilbert Arenas. We're going to break that down even more. He's recently been released from jail. He bonded out after getting arrested for an illegal gambling ring. And then we're going to get into Ish. Ish from the Joe Budden podcast had a lot to say about real estate. And so I want to react to that. All right? So we got a lot going on, a lot to cover today. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turn on your notifications, and I'm always going to continue to read super chats throughout the show, no matter what you give, even though I am not asking for it. I'm just appreciative that you're here, okay? DeMarco Thomas says, used ChatGPT to track my family lineage and prove that my mom and aunt were the direct heirs to over 100 acres of land, potential oil, a farm, and a cemetery. Property was stolen by my great-great-uncle. Interesting. How would they be able to track that? How was you able to track that with ChatGPT? You'll have to give me some insight on how you was able to do that, DeMarco. Thank you for contributing into the platform. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. And Forces said all the black celebrities, male celebrities, are getting taken down lately. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll get into it. So first things first, let's head over to Philadelphia. Now, this is near and dear to my heart because I had a conversation with you all about my experience at the rec centers, right? I grew up at the Johnson's Recreation Center between Livernois and Wyoming and Norfolk and Chippewa. All right, off of Cherry Lawn. Cherry Lawn and Chippewa is where the Johnson's Recreation Center, which I believe is still standing, it just hasn't been opened in decades. The Detroit City teams under Mike Duggan have been refurbishing and opening up recreation centers. And so I seen one recently open and it had this huge renovation. Pools was open and all that. I said, man, I see you, Detroit. I see you, Detroit. I see you getting it. But here's the thing. Over in Philadelphia, apparently they don't value their recreation centers the way that we used to and the way that we do, right? And so what happened over in Philadelphia, let me bring you guys up to speed, is apparently the first day that it was open, and I haven't looked at this extensively because I wanted to react to it in real time, that the first day that it was open, 5 people were shot, including children. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's talk about it.
I'm tired of thoughts and prayers at moments like this because they seem so deficient. It is not enough. It shouldn't happen, and it shouldn't occur.
From Philadelphia's mayor to the community, frustration is mounting over the gun violence in our city. Rec centers used to be places for kids to play safely, but as we have seen time and time again, that is no longer the case. Today's shooting outside a rec center and community pool in West Philadelphia happened while dozens of kids were swimming and its summer camp had just wrapped for the day. 5 people were injured, including 4 children, the youngest just 10 years old. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Sheba Russell. Here's what we know so far. Police say sometime this afternoon, a fight broke out near Christie Rec Center. It was broken up, but then the people involved in that fight returned to the area and opened fire. 2 young children, 10 and 11 years old, were grazed by bullets. 2 teenagers, both 16 years old, are also recovering tonight. One is in critical condition. And an adult rec center employee was also grazed. Our Shawnette Wilson is live at Philadelphia Police Headquarters for us tonight. Shawnette, we are most certainly feeling the frustration and the sadness here.
And Sheba, this was the first day that this pool was open, the first chance that these kids had to be there and swim around. It was just filled over the weekend. What has happened has rocked this community. That means that you have no regard for human life. You have no regard for our young people. A tragic scene at Christie Recreation Center in West Philly this afternoon. Police crime scene tape around the pool and parts of the building. Shell casings on the ground, even a bullet hole in this car parked near the corner of 56th and Christian.
All right, so now what I want y'all to do, what I want you guys to do is I want you to tell me how it just doesn't happen only in the black community with this type of stuff. Go ahead. Fill me in. Fill me in on how it doesn't only happen in the black community, this type of stuff. Tell me how this is just crime in proximity. This has nothing to do with whether or not black culture is trash. Tell me. Give me your rhetoric. Give me your spiel. Tell me about how it's always the white man's fault. Tell me how I'm selling out because I'm calling out the BS in the community and that children who was there to swim at the recreation center, they're not at a concert. This isn't 3 a.m. this time. It's not the concert. Nobody was drinking. They wasn't in the streets. It wasn't a part of the gangs. Had nothing to do with the white man. He wasn't behind the scenes pulling the puppets. It's not the Jews this time. So go ahead. Fill me in. I'm waiting. I'll wait. I'll wait. I know it's always somebody with no profile picture that jerks off in their socks that like to go ahead and tell me about how it's white people's fault, how they threw the first punch, alcohol was involved. It's always the persons, the people, the system, black to the power, the black power. Go ahead. Tell me about this one. I wonder if Al Sharpton is going to pull up. Isn't Umar Johnson from Philadelphia? Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. We have to stop the violence. Queens, Mother Earth, Mother of the universe. Don't focus on my schlong. Don't focus on my schlong. All right? I see the women walking by. Don't distract King Kong consciousness. Just focus on the kids this time. Tell me. Who's going to be the leader that show up this time? Is it Umar? Is it Al? Maybe Roly-Poly Martin will come up and give us some insight on how we need to fix the community. Financial empowerment. What is the terms? I'm going to give y'all all of the good terms on this one. Generational wealth. Taking our land. Tulsa. Look at what they did to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at what they did to Black Wall Street. Tell me, give me, because see, listen, nobody is being affected except for you and what you do in your own culture and in your own environments, in your own cities that are predominantly black, that they opened up recreation centers for to keep your children occupied throughout the summer so that they don't get involved in gangs and drugs and fights and illegal activities and be distracted from being focused. So while mama is at work and daddy taking care of business, or daddy if he's even able to be found, right? Man is shooting up the recreation centers, and 9, 10 years old, 11 years old, the workers at the recreation center. Tell me, come on, tell me how I'm supposed to go back to the hood and give back this time. What are you doing for your community since you got rich? What are you going to do for your community? Do you give back? Do you put more money in the black community? Which one is it this time? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me how this mythical white man, tell me how Trump and his fascism is hurting your recreation center whose the pool just opened. Tell me. Tell me this time. I just want to know. Was it slavery? Is it slavery this time? Is it, what else? What else is it? The white people in Appalachia sent it's the record executives. They the one that got this community center shot up this time, right? It's the record executives. Who is it? Who is it in the community that we can blame outside of ourselves? Because if you're telling me that somebody in this guy's family or in this guy's circle or in a neighborhood or the neighbors weren't familiar with man and that he had pistols and he was going to shoot some stuff up, eventually, if it wasn't the recreation center, it was going to be the liquor store. If it wasn't the liquor store, he was going to be in the parking lot and somebody was going to step on his shoes. If it wasn't the parking lot and the liquor store, then he was going to be doing a recording session at the record label, because you know we all got to be rappers. And I was walking past the other day before yesterday. I'm walking downtown, and I'm about to catch the people mover because I'm just hanging out downtown and vlogging and stuff like that. And I see some young black guys that's sitting here on the side of the right side out of the park, right here by Grand Circus Park, right? And they sitting there and they selling their candy on the side of the road. Not the candy on the side of the road, but at their table. They got their candy. Hey, and this is how they pitch you. They don't say, hey, would you like something to eat or whatever? Hey, black man, support us. Buy our stuff and support us. And this is the honest to God truth on everything. On my daughter's life, on my father's grave, this is what they said. I said, oh, no, I'm good, big dog. This is their reaction to the reaction. Man, you see we trying to stay out the streets. We try not to be out here in the streets doing something bad. Now, me being a 43-year-old man, knowing what the streets is like and being very careful about my words and being proactive like I try to teach you guys every single day, I stayed laser focused. I'm still got my peripherals. I'm still paying attention to what's going on around me, but I'm laser focused on going in. I'm not going to turn back. I'm not going to argue back with you. Oh, what? So you think it? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, so you telling me that if I don't buy your candy, you're going to be out here knocking over some heads? Is that's your pitch to me? For me to buy whatever product that you selling on the side of the road that you probably stole? You're telling me that I'm supposed to support your product because you don't feel like being in the streets and doing stuff that you're not supposed to do. So the determining factor for whether you're going to do the right thing in your life is if I buy your candy. But I ain't say nothing. I just kept on moving. And I just keep moving. The that's the acknowledgement. That's me saying, oh, I hear you, but I ain't about to talk to you. Oh, man, see, you ain't going to, man, we trying to do the right thing. We try not to be in these streets. Just keep going. I want you to know that I heard you, I acknowledge you, and I continue to track along the way so that I can get on the people mover and get to my place. Honestly, bro, like the mentality is messed up. It is messed up in the community. And we're going to continue to have these conversations and blame the man. You want to know the fastest way? You look. If I am this mythical man behind the scenes, the Wizard of Oz that's controlling things, and I want to make sure that I'm the socially engineering black people to not be able to be successful and all of this other type of stuff. Ha 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 ha. Black people, here's another thing that you can have a problem with, and here's another thing. If I'm the Wizard of Oz, right? If I'm this all-knowing, all-powerful white man that is so much smarter than everybody else on the earth, that I am able to circumvent your life and be able to redirect you where it is that you need to go, right? Look at it from the other lens. This is easy to look at it from the victim mindset perspective, but let's look at it from the other lens, right? If I am this all-knowing, powerful white man, right? The thing that I would have you most focused on is you feeling like you're oppressed. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying. If I'm this guy that's trying to prevent you as an entire race in every city in the United States of America, all across the globe, 13%, 13 point, what? Let's just say 14% of the population. Let's round it up. So if it's 350 million people inside of the United States of America, right? 10% of that would be 35 million. 10% will be 35 million. So let's throw another 5% of the 350 million on top of the 10%, right? We're going to do some mental math today. Come on, stay with me. Mental math. So let's just say a cool 50 million black people are inside of the United States of America. And I want to put the puppet strings on all of these black people. Let's get them. Let's make sure that we keep them apprised and we don't ever want them to own nothing. And we going to make sure that they stay distracted so they can't build businesses and they don't have the same economic opportunities as us, all right? So I'm this all-powerful white man. And if I wanted to keep 50 million black people out of the loop, the first thing that I would do is I would have them continue to beg me for reparations. And I would have them continue to focus on whether or not I am giving them resources. And if I am the one that is oppressing them, and if I am the one that's creating the system that's keeping them down, you know why I would do that? Because it would distract them from taking personal responsibility and accountability. Because if you took personal responsibility and accountability, I wouldn't be able to stop you. Contrary to popular belief, if you're socially engineering somebody to not be successful, the only thing that you can do is try to convince them that it's somebody else's fault. Listen, I'm giving you the very much stripped down blueprint of life. The only thing I can do to somebody, because I can't kill you, because then I will go to jail. I can't physically do anything to you, especially in this technologically advanced world, because it'll come back to me. I can't even pay somebody to go and do something to you, because if they get caught, they're going to snitch on me and then it's going to come back to me. So the best way for me to do it without it literally ever touching my hands and for me to be clean about it is I would have to convince you that it's my fault that you are not successful so that you can focus more on me instead of focusing more on you. Because I know that if you ever decide that you want to change your life, it would be nothing that I can do about it because you would be so focused on you instead of being focused on me. So if I can convince you to not pick up the trash on your own lawn and to focus on whether or not my lawn is cleaner than yours, then I can distract you from the thing that you're supposed to be doing that'll encourage you to fix your house. If I can convince you that where you live is the ghetto, then you will depress your real estate and the value of the home that your grandmother left you. The one that y'all said was so easy for the older people to get, the one that they bought and had their own home, how successful black people were more than they are today, even though they have more freedom than they ever have before. I'll convince you that where you live is the ghetto, even though all land on this earth is value. The value of it is based off of what your perception is of it. I will convince you that your land is ghetto. The home that your grandmother lived in is ghetto. And when you get rid of it, I'm going to buy it for pennies on the dollar. And then I'm going to mythically gentrify it because you think that white people are so much better than you that when you see a white face, don't even have to make more money than you. But when they move into your neighborhood, all of a sudden you think the neighborhood is better because it's all based off of perception. If I can get you to focus on not taking responsibility and fixing your own problems and fixing your own neighborhood, I can always keep you in this cycle where you always going to be. I guarantee you have, for you dusties that keep on blaming the man, your children's children will be saying the same thing and they're not going to get a dime from the federal government in reparations. Your children's children who will be so far removed from slavery will be blaming the white man for them doing the same things, going to get student loans, having children out of wedlock, continuing to have their child being raised and being sassy. They're going to do the same thing. I promise you. I promise you.
Those people who are responsible, whomever they are, once the investigation is complete, any and everyone associated with this will be held accountable.
City officials were upset and angry to report a shooting that left 5 people hurt. Investigators say police took a 10-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl to CHOP, both with graze wounds and in stable condition. They say a 16-year-old boy arrived at another hospital where he is in critical condition. Another 16-year-old boy was taken to Penn Presby in stable condition. And lastly, a 32-year-old man who is a city employee with the rec center suffered a graze wound to the hand and is in stable condition.
To find that we have almost 75 children in the pool and individuals will come down here and fire when our children are here. There are boundaries.
Come on.
And if they don't set the boundaries, then we will set them for them.
Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel says early information is that there was a fight here earlier in the day, that rec center staff and an officer on detail here broke up. But around 4 o'clock, people came back.
Fired at individuals who were not in the pool but on 56th Street outside of the pool.
Harold Boswell is a community crisis intervention advocate with an organization called Eddie's House.
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I got kids and my team, they got kids.
He says they canvass this area almost every day.
We tell people all the time, you got a problem, reach out to us. We'll try to solve it for you. They don't have to go this far.
Eli Mount lives nearby.
Why kids can't just come here and have fun besides somebody coming here and start shooting at people?
And police tell us they have a lot of video to look at for clues. Of course, the rec center has cameras. They also went into a convenience store on the corner, Sheba, to get video from their cameras. They're asking anyone who has information about this shooting to call 215-686-TIPS. And just from the community here, this is, I want to be clear, not information confirmed by police, Sheba, but on the scene today, a lot of people in the community were saying that this had something to do with an argument over a girl. Again, not confirmed by police, but many people.
Every time. Boy, you cannot plan this any better. Every single time, it's the same thing. Yo, what happened to the kids that was over there in Memphis, Tennessee? What happened to them boys that was down there in Florida? What was they arguing about? The same thing. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy. The same thing over and over again. Y'all arguing about a hoe. Y'all arguing about a girl. And y'all shot up the community recreation center. And y'all think that this is going to work out for you? What you want me to say? What you want me to say? What else is there to say? I just talked about this. You absolutely right. Peter Investor, I talk about this every day. Every day. Every day. I try to teach y'all the importance of being able to separate up. Man, listen, bro. Listen. I'm tired. I'm tired, bro. I'm genuinely tired. I'm tired, bro. Y'all not tired yet? Y'all not tired of certain people? Y'all not tired of having to overcompensate for the degenerates and being an over good person so that we could try to combat the nonsense and the black fatigue that we see inside of the community? Y'all not tired yet? I am. Exhausted. It's exhausting. Exhausting, because when I see the news most of the time, I know who it is. 89% of the time, I know who it is. Oh man, they just keep on doing it because they overly locking us up. Yeah, they keep saying that we commit 50% of the crimes and we 50% of the jail. Here's a solution. Try not to commit crime. If you get pulled over, maybe you should have a proper license, registration, and insurance. Most of the stuff that we have to defend from you is after the fact. Oh man, he shouldn't have hit him. He shouldn't have did this. 100% true. 100% true. The police officer should have kept his hands to himself. But good God, can we ever get you to not even put yourself in a position in the first place? I teach being proactive. I teach being... I think that some of y'all is cursed, bro. I think that some of y'all is cursed. I genuinely think that some of y'all lineage is cursed. In the worst way. In the worst way. Some of y'all just straight up cursed. It's some people that you just never gonna reach, bro. Honestly. It's some people that you're never going to reach. You could talk to you blue in the face. You can try to convince them. Hey man, look, bro, listen, do it like this. Move like this. You ain't got to do that. Move a little differently. You wasting your time. It's all on deaf ears. Soon as the community pool is open, soon as the weather break, that boy is going to kill somebody and ain't nothing you can do about it. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Jeremy H in the building. Shout out to Jeremy H. Says, 80, don't forget about the Medicare queen in Louisiana who got arrested after buying a Lambo. What? Did you send that to me? Send that to me in my email. I need to know about that. DeMarco Thomas in the building with the 20 ball. Thank you, DeMarco. Gave ChatGPT my immediate family details and gave it the story I was told as a child. Asked it to look into my lineage using the deep research option. And after an 8-minute analysis, it confirmed 200 years of history plus will. Here's the thing, DeMarco. I can't even lie to you. I'm going to be honest with you, big dog. I am deathly afraid of giving any AI model my personal information. I know I'm probably overly cautious, overly conscious, and I know it probably don't matter. But the only thing that matters to me is what I think in my mind. I am very conscious about not talking about my personal life or not giving too many details to AI. I don't want to talk about my relationship. I don't want to talk about how I feel. I'm not giving no personal details. That is information that is mined, kept, stored, and then ultimately going to be used and leveraged in other applications. And listen, congratulations. I'm glad that you was able to find the information about I don't need no deep research. I'm good. Because it keeps your information and it stores you, and that's how it's able to make analysis of you later on and be able to give you advice based off of what you train it to do. It's a model. You're training a model to be able to, use information from other things and other people and society and all of that in order to be able to interact with you and learn more about you so that it can react to you according to how you feel. I just can't. Everything that I do with AI, it has to be above board, meaning that I want you to help me come up with this PowerPoint, help me to be able to scale this company more effectively, help me to be able to, produce this faster or to do this quicker. But I don't want to have no personal relationship with AI. And I see a lot of people, they are building personal relationships, and it's going to mess up the world. Listen to me now. I'm telling you right now, people are going to build personal relationships with AI, and it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire gloriously. Do what y'all will. Do what y'all want. I don't look at all. I just can't, bro. I'm always cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about everything. Terrence Robinson Brown says, Brother Anton, I'm a middle school teacher in the Bronx, New York, and we ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see the kids that are coming up next. Brace up. Grayway says 100% AD. It's like that here in NYC too. Totally About None says, what's up, AD? What's up, AD? I'm moving too fast. I got my accounting degree last year and landed my first job in my career while going to school for IT this year. Shout out to my dog, Totally About None. I appreciate you. And congratulations to you. I love that, bro. 2 kids shot in a drive-by this morning in Detroit. Okay. Send that to me and I'll include that in tomorrow's show if it's something that I need to be looking at. Send that to me and I'll be looking at that. We'll review it tomorrow. Anyways, again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's move into the next thing. I wanted to address this before we get into the Kamala Harris situation, because I think that I'm gonna wind up doing a deep dive into the whole Kamala Harris dropping out of California race. But before we get into that, shout out to all of my African friends in the building. Shout out to y'all. Why is Anton saying shout out to my African friends? Well, I'm gonna spend 10 minutes and I want to make sure that I give y'all some insight on what's going on what your friend doing. When I look at this guy right here, I just think automatic scam.
It was intended to help small businesses, but it went to fancy cars and property. Fox 5's Denise Dillon talked to the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia about the case.
Carl Torjagbo used some of that money to buy this house. Authorities say he cheated the government out of millions of dollars so he could lead a lavish lifestyle.
Torjagbo is a fraudster from Marietta.
During the pandemic, Carl Torjagbo got a $9.6 million paycheck protection.
Yep. I can already tell. Torjagbo? Is that what they said his name is? Torjagbo? I already knew. I knew straight from the name. The Torjagbos? That's not a regular American name. That's not. We talking Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Keisha, are you with me? Are you riding? Those are the regular names. You know what I'm saying? Torjagbo? I know it. I know who you are. I seen you coming before you came in the door. Shout out to all of the Torjagbos on here. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I will tell you about my African friends is that when they go for it, they be like, let me get all the money. They don't go for 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 50,000, 20,000. They don't go for nothing that they gonna ever be able to pay back. When the Africans do their thing, they never go for nothing that they'll ever remotely ever be able to pay back. It was called the PPP loans, the Paycheck Protection Program, the program for you to be able to get a loan to sustain your business. You never had any intention on ever paying anything back. They didn't know it was going to be forgiven when they first issued it. They never ever, Jagbo never ever had any intention on paying anything off. They said, we going to live right now, YOLO.
Program loan. On top of that, he filed fraudulent tax returns that generated a $3.4 million IRS refund.
That's $13 million.
I don't know if y'all know about this, but the first thing that Biden did after they started arresting y'all for PPP loan fraud was this is one thing that I'll say, for example, and I got to call it out when I see it. One of the things that Biden did that I agreed with was Biden said, all right, and we're going to put a 10-year moratorium on this thing. So that means that 10 years after you take out this loan, we should be able to come and track you down. And if it takes 9.5 years for us to find you, we will find you. But y'all not doing yourselves no favor. Who gets a $3 million, $3.5 million tax refund on top of $9.6 million that you stole? Who, if that is not an automatic, you get to the top of the red flag list in any office. Most people, let me tell you how it works for most people that make a lot of money. We try to be as far under the radar as possible because we don't want that problem. We don't want nobody coming in and trying to figure out what we be trying to be as normal as possible. As normal as possible. We make sure we submit all of our 1099s, that all of our receipts is attached to it, that we get it professionally looked over, all of that type of stuff, right? We already got a big enough problem with how much we got to pay in taxes. Now, for somebody to say that they got a $3.5 million tax refund, boy, if you don't know that you're about to get investigated, if you don't head over to whatever country you came from in order to go back, if anybody tells me that they got a $3.5 million refund from the IRS, boy, I don't know you. I'm literally going to block you out of my phone. I'm blocking you out of my phone. Blocked. I might even change my number. I don't know him. I'm not attached to him. I don't want to be around him. That man because I know you going to jail. You going to jail. Whatever you doing, just go ahead and have it up. Live it up right now. You going to jail. That's what Africans don't mess around. They go for everything.
Of money obtained from the federal government through fraud.
He spent that money on this home in East Cobb, land in Northwest Georgia, a number of high-end vehicles, a down payment on a 72-foot yacht, and plastic surgery.
Got himself $15,000 worth of gladiator abs.
Black Beauty. Black Beauty, what's going on with this? Is that what y'all was doing with y'all PPP money? Y'all was getting Ozempic, lipo, and then getting some abs. Y'all got gladiator abs? That's what y'all buying? That's what y'all buying? Y'all spending 15 bands on gladiator abs? Yo. Oh, yes, Aaron L. He went and got a BBL. Yes. Y'all know how we say we like our girls natural? We want them natural. I would imagine that the women is like, yeah, we want natural guys too. Whatever that is, you went and got gladiator abs? You spent $15,000. Is that what they charging for gladiator abs nowadays? And I will tell y'all that Africans, a lot of Africans, like when they get a lot of money, they way more gaudy than regular black Americans. That's the honest to God truth. Black people, oh yeah, we stunt. We stunt. Like we'll stunt. We'll go get the bus down. We'll go get the rings, the watches, the chains. Thankfully, I never went through that phase, and so I just skipped. I skipped over that phase. I skipped the bust down watches. I skipped. I would get a solid gold chain, but I wouldn't get anything with diamonds in it. I wouldn't even get a. I just kind of skipped over that phase. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. Africans, they will get They will get 100 skinny chains. They will get a gold-plated shirt. Africans are literally like the great value Middle East. Africans are the great value. You know how a lot of them Arabic guys, they'll get all of the chains and stuff. They do that stuff too. Arabic dudes do the same thing. They'll get 1,000 chains. They gotta, oh my God, they gotta bust it down. They gotta get the rings and all of that stuff. Africans is the great value version of that.
Torjagbo was able to get the PPP loan.
Look at him. That dude, look at Torjagbo. Look at Torjagbo. He got a pilot uniform on. Do we even know if he's a pilot? Do y'all know if Torjagbo is a pilot or not? Because I don't even believe it. This is a catch me if you can situation.
He had a company.
Abs.
Torjagbo was able to get the PPP loan, claiming he had a company, Kremkov Industries.
Kremkov Industries was running a gold mine in Ghana.
The company was fake, and so were the hundreds of employees he said worked for him.
According to Torjagbo, 493 people who were living in the United States but working a mine in Ghana. And he identified by name a number of those employees to the banks. Individuals like Keanu Reeves, Gene Hackman, Oliver Twist, Jon Snow. This was really a notorious fraud.
While it may seem almost comical, the money Torjagbo received was meant to help small businesses that were barely getting by during COVID.
But it's horribly offensive that this was money meant to help struggling Americans, and it was wasted and abused by this criminal.
You know what the worst part about it is? The Biden administration, they need to be prosecuted for letting some of this stuff even pass. They need to be prosecuted. You know, I remember when there were people that actually had legitimate businesses that got turned down, and then Torjagbo was over here getting $10 million on this front, $3.5 million on that front. Torjagbo got all of this money, and regular people that genuinely had businesses and employees that they had to take care of, they couldn't even get a hold of the money. They were having problems actually accessing the money, and their businesses were legitimately impacted by the pandemic. Don't know how Torjagbo got it. Don't even know why Torjagbo was still here in the United States of America. All of that money would have been in a Swiss bank account, and they should have been in Africa somewhere. So I don't know, bro. Crazy. But that's y'all cousins. That is y'all cousins. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Torjagbo was over there running it up, wasn't he? Running it up. How much time do you get for that? I don't even want to know. I don't even want that to be a part of my whole aura. I don't want that in my sphere. Totally About None says, I'm asking, am I moving too fast? No, you're not moving too fast. You can never move too fast when it comes to success unless you're doing something illegal. Gary says he wouldn't have had the scam if he was a bad chaser. You know what? Well, we're going to get into that because I'm going to hold off on that. Because the very last end of the show where Ish from the Joe Budden podcast is talking about real estate, I wanted to address a little bit of that. So we're going to deep dive into that. Latrell says he got Drake abs. Drake? Shout out to Latrell. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. We got to get into Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. We have been discussing this for a little bit now. And so I want to get it from both the CNN liberal side and I want to also get it from the Fox News conservative side. And then I'm going to give you guys my opinion. But Kamala Harris has officially announced that she will not be running for governor of California. I'm going to give you my thoughts, but first let's hear the report about it.
We learned this afternoon that former Vice President Kamala Harris has a bombshell announcement. She will not run for California governor next year. Less than a year after she lost the 2024 election to Donald Trump, Harris's decision has already led to the inevitable speculation that this means that she will run again for president in 2028. In a statement explaining her decision, Harris says this, quote, "For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fearlessly and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plans." All right, our panel is here in the arena. CNN political director and our Washington bureau chief, David Chalian, CNN political commentator Jonah Goldberg, Democratic strategist, former senior advisor for the Harris campaign, Adrian Elrod, and CNN political commentator, Republican strategist, Brad Todd. Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for being here. David Chalian, I spoke to one person close to Harris who insists this is just a decision about 2026. It's not a decision about 2028, and yet.
Well, and yet, as you said, speculation. Listen, I think that is true. The for now in her statement is doing a lot of work to fueling the speculation about 28. But Casey, I mean, just a totally different assessment politically of looking at getting into a gubernatorial race where a lot of the polling had her as a dominant force if she were to get into the race. No sure thing to victory, obviously, in 26 versus what may be an extraordinarily crowded race in 28 that is far off yet and that I don't think she will have any ability to sort of clear in any way for herself in 28. So I do take the advisor that you talked to and others I've spoken to at their word that this is not a decision about 28. Obviously, she's doing everything she can to preserve her options, and we're going to see a lot more of her in the next 18 months than we've seen in the last 6 months. There's no doubt about that. But I don't read this as automatically she thinks she's going to jump into the 28 presidential race.
Adrian Elrod, what do you think?
Look, I think her statement speaks for itself. This is a woman who has served Californians as San Francisco DA, as Attorney General, obviously as in the United States Senate, and as Vice President of the United States for the entire nation. I think she wants to take a step back, really focus on, how can she help the American people? How can she be a part of, pushing back against some of Trump's dangerous and divisive...
Bullshit. I'm sorry. Bullshit. She's going to take a step back, see how she can help the American people. See, come on, man. Come on. We done with that. We're not going to continue to say the same thing over and over again. We know that most politicians are not looking to help the American people take a step back, see how they can help other people get elected. We're not going for that. All right, let's continue.
Policies without having this transactional relationship with voters, which is exactly what she made clear in her statement, that she wants to be able to go out there and fight for people without having to go through the slog of running for office. She deserves to have a little bit of space here in this moment to, not always be running for office, not always be in elected office, but also making sure that she can be a viable force in the Democratic Party and a very important voice. And I'm also confident that if she had run for governor of California, she would have won that race. But she certainly, of course, has made it clear that she wants to keep her options open.
But in keeping that her options open, there's no guarantee. In fact, there's really no way, you must have to acknowledge, that she would start at the top of the heap in a 2028 primary.
Well, I think she's making it clear that she's not focused on 2028 right now. She's focused on 2026. Obviously, we've got some off-year.
I think she's 100% focused on 2028. She is 100% focused. Listen, if you're asking me, do they have any something on DraftKings or something like that where you can bet if a person is ever going to run for president of the United States of America? What's the over-under on that for Kamala Harris? What's the over-under on that for Kamala Harris? She is 100% focused on 2028. If you think that her goal, if she decided that she did not want to run for governor of California, now I have a few different theories as to why she didn't want to run for governor of California. Because I believe, A, her ultimate goal is to become president of the United States of America. I think that Republicans are salivating at the idea that she runs. And if she was to ever become the nomination on the Democrat side for president of the United States of America in 2028, J.D. Vance would absolutely, positively mop the floor with this woman. That would be the best case scenario for Republicans. I think that Republicans probably are in her back pocket, are the ones that are probably encouraging her to run, would probably be a part of some of the PAC, the political associations that would donate to her for her to become the nominee for the Democrat side to become president of the United States of America. I think that Republicans would love the idea of that. They would adore the idea of that. And that would be a layup for J.D. Vance. All right. So first thing, I think that she is focused on it. Second thing, I think that that will be great for Republicans. But third, let's also explore California. Okay. California is in shambles. Politicians understand that the psyche of the American people is a what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? So many people don't even remember what happened during the pandemic. It's almost like we've blocked that part of our lives out of our mind. People are acting like the pandemic never even existed. Remember when Gavin Newsom was the person that was under fire for what happened and he was out here with no mask on at restaurants and stuff when he had practically shut down the entire state? Yep, we remember that too. California is in shambles. They have a population decline. They have a budget crisis, not only in the state, but in all of the cities in California. They have billions of dollars in lost revenue. They have record high taxes, and they have a governor that is more concerned with posturing than he is of operating the state from a business perspective and making sure that they are reeling in the costs. So if she was to become governor of California, not even to say that she would want to, that they would want her or that she would win, she would be basically facing an uphill battle of actually having to govern over a state. And that is not what I think Kamala Harris wants. Kamala Harris, from my perspective and observing her and watching her, is the type of person that just want the accolades. She want the glory. She wants the glory. Kamala Harris wants to be a celebrity. She wants the glory. She wants the fame. She wants the fortune. She want to be one of the first. She want to go on around Mount Rushmore of her the sisters and the AKAs. She wants to go down as the greatest AKA. Kamala Harris is the type of woman that will definitely do what she got to do to get what she wants to go to the top. I don't believe she even really like her husband like that. Ducky, she ain't even like that. She never was like that. If you look at how Kamala Harris has been operating and who she been talking to and who she been dating, you mean you went from my man that was over there that helped you get your start in California over to Montel Williams, and you was over here. You chose to not have children. Do you know how intentional you have to be as a woman that has been out here in these streets prior to you actually becoming the person that you are, as a person that has joined several different organizations and sororities and all of that stuff, chose not to have children, and then intentionally chose to marry Dougie? Do you know that is a woman on a mission? That is not a woman that you talk to when you like, you know what? Oh, she's such a good person. That's a person that you talk to. And what did Dave Chappelle say? Dave Chappelle, I think it was Dave Chappelle. He said that he was in a room with people like her, and she said, I am going to be the president of the United States of America one day. I am going to be the president of the United States of America. That is a woman that is driven. She is intentional. She is driven and she is intentional. She is not looking to step back and come from being vice president to going to be the governor of California. That wasn't in her plans. She never said she was going to be the governor of California. She said, I'm running for president of the United States of America. She said, I'm running for the president of the United States of America. That woman, as incompetent as she is, as much as she does not have the ability to answer a question effectively, as much as she dodged a lot of that stuff and they tried to control it, that woman is driven by any means necessary. By any means necessary. So if you're telling me that she's not gearing up for a presidential run, we're going to revisit this conversation later. Let's go over to the Fox News. Well, let's hear a little bit more of what they got to say, and then we'll go over to the Fox News assessment of this whole thing.
Elections in Virginia and New Jersey coming up that I'm sure she will weigh in on and be a part of a big surrogate in those races too. She's focused on making sure that Democrats can get a little bit of power back at the federal level, and I think that is where her focus will be, and we'll see what happens after the midterms.
Jonah Gilbert, are you surprised by this decision?
No. I think it makes a lot of sense on her terms. Democratic Party is more unpopular than it has been in something like 30 years, and I think it makes a lot of sense if she wants to run again for president, not to be in the public eye for a while, because we have not experienced any big surge of Biden-era nostalgia. There's still a lot of hard feelings out there, and frankly, if I were her, I would take a bunch of board seats and not think about running again. If not ever, then certainly not in 2028 either. But
board seats can complicate a political future.
For sure. But like I would just sort of cash in and get out of politics if I were her.
This is a 2028 move. The California Democratic Party is a bowl full of Fruit Loops. And to be the leader of California as a Democrat, she will have to become the Fruit Loop she really wants to be, as we saw in 2019. And so if she wants to run in 2028, she's got to get further from her Fruit Loop past. And she can't do that if she's
I have a slight disagreement with that. But I agree with you about California being a bowl of Fruit Loops. But who can deny that? But like as Rahm Emanuel, you need the way the Democrats are going to get back into power is by calling out Fruit Loops, is by doing some sort of sister soldier stuff. Much fewer opportunities to sort of say, I'm not the Democrat you think I am. Right. And run against the brand if she doesn't hold another office.
Well, so the thing is, and David Chalian, and the heart of the challenge that it seemed to me, Kamala Harris was this incredibly fast rising star, right? Out of California, she comes to the Senate. It's immediately clear that she's here to run for higher office, right? She's reaching out to reporters like us, right? It's very obvious. And then she struggles in public to identify what kind of Democrat she is, right? Is she going to run on the left the way that she did in the primary when she was a candidate herself, or is she
where she did not even make it to the voting, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. She drops out before that even happens, after what people thought was a strong kickoff rally. But then, and I want to play this moment that sort of crystallized, I think, for a lot of people, the struggle that she had. Obviously, she had a very compressed timeline to try to win the election. No one's taking that away from her. But she was asked why she would be different from the president that she had been serving when she did this appearance on The View. And here's how she answered that question.
Couldn't answer it.
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Yeah, that was a moment when I seen her on The View and she said that, and she was picking certain platforms that she wanted to go to. And she picked Club Shay Shay, but all of that other type of stuff. So, yeah. Let's go over to the Republican side. Let's go over to Fox News perspective on Kamala Harris dropping out of the governor of California race. Not even dropping out, saying that she wouldn't run for governor of California, which basically left it wide open to a bunch of nobodies to try to become the governor of California. And this is their assessment of whether or not she's going to run for president in 2028.
Happening today, Mike Donilon, former senior advisor to President Biden, is going to testify as part of the probe into the alleged cover-up of Biden's decline. This just one day after top Biden aide Steve Ricchetti reportedly told the panel that Biden was fully capable of being president even today. But a source adding, Mr. Ricchetti admitted that they all knew President Biden's age was an issue and were dealing with it as a political matter. But here's the real sentence. In preparation for the infamous debate, Steven Spielberg helped President Biden prepare for it. Michael LaRosa is a Democratic strategist and the former press secretary to Jill Biden. He joins me now. Mike, great to see you as always. I don't know, what did Steven Spielberg, a guy with a directing career who brings fiction to the big screen, really do to make I'm going to move on? Ricchetti telling Congress yesterday that Biden was fully capable. Did Ricchetti have the same confidence in Joe Biden behind closed doors? Specifically, are you expecting any bombshells based upon, again, what you saw during your time in the White House?
I'm not. I wouldn't expect anything very.
The most intriguing part of this. I'm glad you mentioned it. Finally, before we let you go, Kamala Harris says she will not run for California governor in 2026. Knowing you as you do, what do you make of this decision? And then, what do you think this means for a potential re-presidential run in 2028?
Look, it was the right call. It was a good instinct because she lost 2 million votes from the 4 years earlier when President Biden won California, her home state. So she would have had, I think, some challenges to overcome, even among Democratic voters in California. I think it was the right call. I do think it means she's going to run. I fully expect her to run for president again. She's young. She's been sort of running and in political office her entire adult life. I don't expect her to sit the next election out, but I hope she's able to overcome some of her previous challenges, mainly communication, answering questions, taking declarative positions, and a degree of authenticity that only comes with accessibility, which unfortunately she was not.
Well, if she's
so some people are expecting her for running for president in 2028. Other people are saying that they're not sure if she's going to run for president in 2028. I personally believe that she will run for president in 2028 because I think that that's just who she is, and there's nothing that anybody can tell her or do to stop her. And she's looking to become the first Black female president that is also from the sorority to sisterhood. And I told y'all that y'all was going to get yourselves embarrassed the first time when y'all got behind her. When she first threw her hat into the ring and all of y'all jumped on that call on the Kamala Harris. What? Hey, let me tell y'all how stupid y'all looked. Yo, do y'all remember when she decided to run for office that they had Roland Martin in them and what's my man name, the pastor down there in Atlanta, Jamal Bryant, and they was all out here having her on the pulpit, and Roland Martin and them held the Black Man for Kamala Harris phone call Zoom session. Oh, y'all didn't realize that Roland Martin and them was looking to get paid? That Al Sharpton was already about to get paid? I'm not going to let y'all forget. When we revisit this conversation in 2028, and I'm sitting on 2 to 3 million subscribers on the Anton Daniels channel, I'm going to remind y'all that y'all was on the white women, my snow bunnies. Y'all were on the white women for Kamala Harris phone call. I'm not going to let y'all forget that. We were laughing at you dudes. We were laughing at y'all so much. A part of y'all call, because somebody had sent me the videos of somebody recording, and a part of y'all call was the importance of you getting your husbands on board to make sure that y'all vote for Kamala Harris. I couldn't believe it. Part of y'all call was getting your husbands on board to make sure that y'all voted for Kamala Harris. It's up to the women. It's up to the ladies. I won't let y'all forget that. Yes, y'all. Yeah, RP. Yes, RP. They were on the white women for Kamala Harris call. Yes, they was. Yes, they were. Shout out to my snow bunnies. The white men for Kamala Harris was the most hilarious. Yes, bro. It was hilarious, bro. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, y'all really doing this, huh? And I said, bro, she's gonna lose every single swing state. Oh, Anton, you don't know what you. I said, bro, I am out here. I know what the sentiment of the people is. I can tell when things are about to go left or it's about to go right. It was so clear. It was as clear as day that she was about to get trounced. She was going to get destroyed. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, Nevada. It was so clear. I wouldn't even want to show up after that. But here we are. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move over to the next part of the show. Abe the Hunter says, if I was a thief, I would have just put all in a mutual fund, waited until I was up about $3 million, and then I would have returned it back to the government. I think they want that in blood. They don't really care about whether or not you're going to pay it back. Willie Brown said, sit your down, says John McCullough. Chris Cunningham says, the Democrats are at a 35-year low per the Wall Street Journal. The Democrats have become completely irrelevant. GR's Infantry says 45 out of 47 presidents had the bloodline of John Lackland. She wanted in. She doesn't have the bloodline, nor does Vance. J.D. Vance will become next president of the United States of America. 392Q says, if Cam want to win, I need to place a bet on that right now. If Cam want to win, she needs to change child support marriage laws to benefit men more, then she might have a chance. But if J.D. do it, it's over. I think J.D. Vance is going for the next 8 years. Shell Shock says she needs to take a public speaking course before anything. What can be unburdened by what has been? Looking A. She'll be dope as a Walmart greeter. Nah, she ain't never going that low. Napoleon says, I believe they been knew Biden was sick while he was running. If he decided or if he was elected for a second term, he would have had to step down due to his condition and she would have automatically been appointed president. Good call. Mr. Lott says they had a coaching call. Yes, they did, bro. It was the dumbest thing that I had ever seen. Anyways, again, hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into the second half of the show. Shannon Sharpe, I gave y'all an update on this yesterday, but we're going to revisit it because actually I didn't give y'all an update on this yesterday. I gave y'all an update on it on the Anton Daniels channel, okay? I broke down how it was released from The Athletic that Shannon Sharpe was going to be removed from ESPN. Shannon Sharpe himself found out, they say Monday or Tuesday. Yep. They said that the call that they had and the conversation that they had with Shannon Sharpe was either Monday or Tuesday. Shannon Sharpe himself said that he found out earlier this week. And he had one request that they did not grant, but we'll get into that shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Shannon Sharpe was recently fired by ESPN shortly after settling the $50 million lawsuit from the chick that was on OnlyFans.
Got to get to some breaking news out of the sports world now. ESPN confirming to NBC it's cutting ties with its NFL commentator Shannon Sharpe. The move coming after Sharpe, of course, the Hall of Fame tight end, settled a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault and battery. He has previously denied the allegations against him, and he hasn't been on the air since April. NBC News is out to Sharpe and his attorney for comment, although we haven't heard back. Ellison Barber is tracking this one. Ellison, what else do we know?
Hey, Hallie, I mean, it is a massive fall from grace for the Hall of Famer turned broadcast giant. As you said, his relationship with ESPN, it is officially over. He had not been on the air at ESPN since this lawsuit was first filed back in April. That was a decision at the time that he and his attorney had said they had made, that he had made on his own as he dealt with what he described back then as false and disruptive allegations. But look, he's no longer going to be on ESPN, and this is despite the network network renegotiating his contract and announcing an expansion of his role on the show First Take just last year. You mentioned it, but no comment from ESPN or Sharpe as of yet. The split, it does come 2 weeks after the attorney who was representing the woman who had accused Sharpe of sexual assault and raping her in the state of Nevada on 2 different occasions, one in late 2024 and one in January of this year. It comes 2 weeks after her attorney announced that they had reached a settlement on that lawsuit. The terms of the settlement were not publicly disclosed. Again, Sharpe has consistently denied any wrongdoing here. He claims that he had a consensual relationship with this woman. Based on court filings in the state of Nevada, she had said that she had met Sharpe back in 2023 at a gym when she was 20 years old and that they had engaged in a relationship over the course of 2 years. And then again in late 2024, that's when she says she was assaulted by Sharpe, both physically and sexually, and raped at least 2 times. Again, no direct comment from Sharpe at this time. He and his attorney, they had previously said that the decision to step away from his role at ESPN in April was one that he made himself. This no longer a decision he has made himself. This is ESPN splitting from Sharpe. He will not be on that show, on that program, on the network moving forward. That being said, he does have an incredibly popular podcast that airs weekly, and as far as we know, that will continue. But Hallie, in terms of his relationship broadcasting with ESPN, that is over.
Shannon Sharpe will be fine. Shannon Sharpe will be fine. Now, I thought that ESPN would actually keep Shannon Sharpe on. And the reason that I thought that ESPN would keep Shannon Sharpe on is because Shannon Sharpe is a generational talent when it comes to creation of content. I think that he's great for networks. He's great with the money. Unfortunately, Shannon Sharpe fell victim to what we all, most of us, have a fetish for, and that is what I call boxalitis. Shannon Sharpe fell victim to the box. And so he's seen this. She was a fairy. Yeah, she was a fairy. The very thing that I warned y'all against. Let me sit back in my chair and let me kick it for a second so I can talk my talk. Before we get into Shannon Sharpe's reaction to it, because I'm going to play that next, let me sit back in my chair and let me talk my talk. Because I'm right. I'm right again. Anton, no. We want them younger, we want them whiter, and we want them greener so that we can train them on how it is that they need to be moving around an older man. Older men like younger white women. That's what y'all told me. That is what y'all told me. No cap. You argued with me in the comments. You argued with me on the Millionaire Morning Show. You did live streams. You did reactions videos to me. You talked about it on Monday nights. You talked about it on After Hours. And you argued with me and you said, Cap, Anton, you don't know what it is out here no more, Unc. You've been out the game for a while. And then I tried to tell you, I said, listen, the game is the game. It don't change. The only thing that changes is the players and the technology. The game is the game. And I talked to you and I told you. I said, bro, you're asking for trouble. And you didn't want to listen. And you said, no, man. And so now you're making more excuses. Oh, Shannon, he just didn't know. He wasn't able to vet him. These girls are smarter than you. I knew chicks in high school that had grown men picking them up, and they was like, yeah, I only talk to older men. I knew chicks that was smarter than you. I knew chicks back in college that was talking to a dope boy, and she knew that eventually he was going to go to jail. She said that she was already putting herself in a position, and some of the things that she was doing was getting her own salon, getting this up. She was taking money that he was giving her, and she was stacking it, living a life and waiting for him to eventually go down, knowing that he was either going to end up dead or in jail, and she just took her chances. That's a fact. They not as green as you think that they are. They not as airheaded as you think that they are. They play airhead. They play oblivious. They play like they don't know what they talking about, but they are very much looking at you as a mark. You thought that the way that Shannon Sharpe, when he went out to go on that liquor tour for LaPortier, you thought him getting out there with them bad knees, that he was somehow impressing some young white 20-year-old chick?
You think I'm naive? You think we naive? Oh, you a different type of unk, huh? You a different unk. You different. You the one that all of the 21 and 22-year-olds want. You him, huh? She don't want you for your money. She don't want you for your clout. She just like you because y'all are the same mentally. Because y'all can communicate. Because age ain't nothing but a number. You different. You special. You a special unk. Oh, no. You different. You know how to move around the room. You move the room. You got motion. Yeah. The women your age, they just all cantankerous. They don't know no better. You different. You smarter than everybody else. You wiser than the men that came before you. You're not going to get caught up. I remember when he was going off on Ocho. Hey, Ocho. Y'all gotta be, y'all can't keep being late. You know, I'm taking this thing to high levels. And with a microphone man, why's my Nightcap crew can't get yourself together? You know, when I was in the NFL, I told my older brother, I said, I'm gonna start me a podcast. And I need Ocho to get on board. And I need the microphone man and whoever is in the background, y'all need to get it together. Right after that, scandal. As soon as he starts showing off that watch, boo, because y'all over here talk about me. Y'all talk about old Unc over here. Cat Williams bought this watch. Yeah. And make sure you go get some Laportier too. DraftKings, T-Mobile, boost T-Mobile. Skip thought he was going to keep me down. You can't stop no train. The last person that's trying to get in front of the train, you get ran over. You're going to get ran over. Right after that, all it took was some little pink box and a little bit of head, and you was all in your feelings. All in your feelings, had your face all between her legs. Just gobbling up pink. Just eating the pink. You probably was eating the pink. Come here, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle. God putting your face all in the pink. This ain't about Shannon. This is about you. This is about you. You walking and living and talking and looking at this. You think we talking about Shannon. We're using Shannon as the latest example of a falling soldier, a fallen angel. He went up like, whoop, and they just was like, here, let me take this on. Give me this $25 million. Give me this $30 million. Give me an ESPN contract. Because you think you special. You think you got you. Yeah, you. You think you special. Got you a little white girl. Ain't nothing wrong with the little pink cat. Get you some pink cat. Deal with whatever you want to deal with. But just be realistic about what you're facing. Listen, men have to be situationally aware. They have to understand that you are not special. Your circumstance is special. Your money is special. Your emotion is special. The fact that you on top right now makes you special. But you're not as special to other people as you think you are. You're only as special as your ability to be able to provide until you're not special anymore. And so this is what Shannon had to face. Shannon, for some reason, forgot the rules of the game. And let me tell you why. Because football players, some of them get more motion than others, but most of them, they walk around with a helmet on their head. I got any helmets here? I don't think I got no helmets here. Any helmets? I can't think of no helmets. I don't think I got no helmets here.
Most football players walk around with a helmet on their head. Let's do a makeshift helmet. Let's see what we got over here. So because they walk around with helmets on their head all day, they may have made the NFL, they may be in the locker room, they may be doing some things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they get the visibility that they want to. And I had a conversation about yesterday. Let me see what we got going on here.
Hey, good afternoon, brother. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How's it going?
Man, good to hear. Man, I haven't talked to you in a while. First off, man, thank you for being so good to us all these years. I've been meaning to reach out and just thank you for being so good and being the person you all are. So, yeah, I just want to say thanks for having us for so long, man. We really appreciate it.
Oh man, no worries, man. You guys are great, and so I'm just glad that everything worked out.
Yeah, everything's working out. Everything's good. And, everyone's happy, and it's good. And the next chapters. But
Yep.
no, man, I'm over here. I just want to touch base and talk to you. Like I said, I haven't talked to you. What are your intentions with this house? I want to. What are your plans with it? Are you going to continue to rent it? Are you putting it up? Like, it's none of my business. The reason I asked, man, I had mentioned I wanted to paint this place, and to be honest, I haven't gotten to it yet. But I wanted to know how far you're going to take, the house, what your plans were, if it was going to get painted either way. I know you had mentioned to Tatiana, don't even worry about it, and you
don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna rent it out. So I got I got a team.
Because I know you're doing your other bills and you had your other 2 investments, whatever. And I figured, I mentioned Tatiana. I'm sure he's got a crew. He's got his team going.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to reach out, because if you had your team, great. If not, I really wanted to just help you out, clean it up as much as I can. I have gone through the whole house. I've patched all the holes. Everything is like, paint ready. We're gonna finish.
Justin, don't worry about it, man. Focus on you guys. Focus on making sure that you guys are all set and stable, and then I could take care of everything. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I just wanted to reach out and make sure. Like I said, I don't want to be that guy that leaves you hanging. That's just not my style. So, but everything is patched up. Like I said, we're going to finish up cleaning today. Man, I totally forgot. I had stuff under this deck. I may not be able to get to the stuff under this deck.
Don't worry about it. Get it when you can. No, I'm not in a rush. I'm not putting anybody in it right away. So.
Okay. Everything on the inside is good. Yeah, I just have under the deck stuff, which I just totally forgot about that crap. I will probably make a dump run on Monday for that stuff. Tomorrow I have a really busy work day. Saturday the dump's not open, or Sunday, so I may have to wait until Monday on that. But
that's fine.
Just wanted to let you know on that part.
That's fine. Just when you get a chance, just give me a copy of the keys.
For sure.
And the garage code. And then
the garage is unhooked off the track. That's been malfunctioning for like 2 years.
Why you ain't let me know? I would have got it fixed for you.
Well, having that pool table in there, honestly, it was so much easier just to lift the garage door up and down.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So Tatiana's locating keys. Honestly, we haven't used a house key, and I don't even know how many years. It's on a key ring somewhere.
All right.
The front keypad we have. In worst case scenario, I can.
Well, just text me. Just text me the front keypad. And then I'll go through there on Saturday, and then I'll assess what it is that I need to have my guys doing, and I'll have them go in there and do what they need to do. And then you could just get whatever you need to get as you need it from the deck and stuff.
Right on. Cool. How's everything with you guys? Everything good?
Everything is great, man. Let me know if you guys need anything, okay?
No, we're really good, man. I appreciate it. But I just want to touch base in regards to see what I can do to give you a jump. Like I said, everything is patched up, and everything will be cleaned out by the end of the day. And Tatiana's locating keys for you, and then we can link up tomorrow sometime and and swap those and go from there, dude.
All right, my friend.
All right, brother. Have a great day.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Sorry, y'all. I'll be having to take calls throughout the day and stuff like that. Where were we? Oh, Shannon Sharpe. Okay, so Shannon. Football players are used to having helmets on, okay? And so they're not the same as basketball players, all right? Football players are used to going, 1, 2, 3, and so they have a little bit of jealousy within them. And so a lot of times throughout their career, because they have a helmet on, they're not able to be recognized as easily as a basketball player. Basketball players are 9 feet tall. They're able to walk around. They can go into the club. They can market themselves. The women know who they are. So unless you're an Aaron Rodgers or, a Shador Sanders or something like that, you're not going to be able to get as much visibility. So your motion is going to be limited. Unless you're a Deion Sanders historically or something like that, you're not going to be able to do the same things that everybody else do. So Shannon is used to putting on his football helmet, right? Putting on his football helmet, and they get out there, set up, 1, go. They're Neanderthals. They're used to being savages. They're used to always walking around. And so they believe that they deserve the same love as NBA players, but they're not getting the love because when they go out into the streets a lot of times, unless you start to sell something or you get more visibility, you don't get the same motion as the baseball players. You don't get the same motion as the soccer players. You don't get the same motion as hockey players. You get this type of motion. Nobody knows who you are. Oh, man, that's just a big old football player. Oh, man, he just big. So that's what they're used to. So Shannon got a lot more motion now, right? He got a lot more motion. When Shannon got on Club Shay Shay and Fox Sports, and he was good at his job, the visibility was different than they were used to as football players. The visibility, football players envy other sports because they don't make as much money while they're in the league, but they generate the most revenue as a league, and they don't have the same motion when it comes to being recognizable and visibility, because most people would walk past a football player and not be able to know his name, even in their own city. Like even if you're not internationally known, like if you're not a big time superstar, then in your own city, you still the man. In your own city, you're still the man. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be him. But most people on a football roster, unless you're one of the big dogs, right? Unless you was a Megatron or something like that, a Barry Sanders, a generational player, you're not going to get that much motion. But when they start to get more visibility as like being on these shows and starting their own podcasts and stuff, it hit different because now they have the fame that is commensurate with the money, and they probably making more money than they ever made when they was in football themselves. So Shannon, as great as he is, as awesome as he was, he forgot the lessons. He forgot the rules of the game. And the rules of the game are such. Nobody is bigger than the program. Nobody can escape boxolitis. And you have to, under any circumstance, under all circumstances, you have to maintain frame. You never, ever, ever. This is the number one rule of the game. If nobody has ever told you, and I don't care if you're a content creator, I don't care if you're the executive of a startup company that's going to blow up and make a lot of money. I don't care if you're a football player. I don't care if you're a basketball player. I don't care what you are. If nobody ever told you, I am going to tell you right now, this is the rule, the number one rule of the game. The number one rule of the game is that you never, ever, if you just a neighborhood dope boy and you are the man in your city, This is the rules of the game. Never, ever, ever, under any circumstance, place a hoe before your dough. Never, ever let anything come between you and the money. You can go party as long as it don't affect the money. You can go ball as long as it don't affect the money. You can do this, you can do that. But when you mess up the money, you done broke rule number 1 of the game. Rule number 1 of the game. Y'all didn't have OGs because y'all grew up in the social media era. So you just took your advice from anybody that you can find it from. You took your advice from anybody that you can find it from. Here's Shannon Sharpe and him addressing specifically him getting let go by ESPN.
Hello, it's your favorite sports thunk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Before we get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me this, I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it.
So that's pretty much all Shannon said. He said that he asked him to wait till Monday. Fa Brown says, AD, do you think that ESPN was fouled for not waiting till Monday? No, I don't. You don't get to dictate the rules. You can make a request, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can dictate the rules. Listen, you can control the narrative when you are a winner. That is the only time that you have the power and control. You determine the rules. You determine how the game goes. You can control things. The minute that you mess up the money, the minute that you mess up the reputation, the minute that you mess up the bag, that's when all of the rules go out the window. And he knew the rules of the game, and that's why he's not salty about it. You can make a request, but that don't mean that they got to honor it. They don't have to do nothing. It's 100% business. You was bad for the brand. Now, I personally believe, this is where I was wrong. I personally believed that Shannon would be able to overcome this situation and ultimately still remain on ESPN, because I think it's a bad move on ESPN's part to let Shannon Sharpe go. I believe it is a horrible thing on ESPN's part to let Shannon Sharpe go. I believe that they could have possibly renegotiated the contract, that they could have got him at a lower price. If they were smart, they would have played this completely differently, because he was still an asset. He was a huge asset, and people would have wanted to tune in to see what he was going to be like, if he was going to be on top of it, if he was going to recover, if he was going to show off. And I'm pretty sure they could have got him for a cheaper price, considering everything. This was leverage on ESPN's part. You don't let a person like Shannon Sharpe go because he's too valuable in order to make sure that you can continue to keep up in the ratings to compete. If I was ESPN, I would have kept him. If I was ESPN, I would have kept him. You say ESPN is trying to fix their dying brand. The only way you fix the dying brand is by having exceptional talent, is by doing numbers. The numbers is always going to be king over everything. Ain't no brand perception when you losing in numbers. when you're continuing to be gnawed at by all of these independent things. Now, let me give Shannon Sharpe some credit too. Let me give Shannon Sharpe some credit, because on the flip side, of course, I said that Shannon forgot the plot or whatever, so on and so forth, blah. And I still don't believe that he was guilty. I just think that he didn't understand the rules of the game. For some reason, the Cat Williams interview, the money, the visibility, the brand deals and all of that probably overshadowed a lot, and he thought he was untouchable. You're never untouchable. You got to stay focused, all right? Here's where I think that Shannon Sharpe played it correctly. This is what I think that Shannon Sharpe did well. Shannon Sharpe was smart enough to be able to survive and pivot and continue to keep his own Shay Shay brand, keep his own nightcap, continue to work. And this is another thing. This is a learned lesson, y'all. Look at all of the lessons. Forget the news of what we talking about in Shannon Sharpe, and let's pay attention to the lessons. What's the lesson here? Is that at the end of the day, Shannon was diversified in what it was that he was putting out, and that he never just said, yep, I got the bag at ESPN. Yep, I got the bag at Fox Sports. Yep, I ran it up over here. Yep, I did this. He continued to grind. He continued to expand his reach, his tentacles, and build his individual brand to where he was not interdependent on another company in order for him to survive. That was the thing that he did, which was exceptional. You have to diversify. And this is applicable across the board. Don't put yourself in a position to get laid off or let go and you was a one-trick pony. Don't put yourself in a position where you interdependent on a company in order for you to survive. Don't put yourself in a position where you got to go and try to hurry up and land another job in order for you to be okay. You're going to have to make sure that you diversify. I think that Stephen A. did a phenomenal job at it. Don Lemon did a phenomenal job at it. Gilbert Arenas, we're going to get into him in a minute. I think he's did a phenomenal job at it. Shannon Sharpe has done a phenomenal job at it. Ocho Cinco has done a phenomenal job at it. And that no matter what, even if this is kind of messed up, Shannon is still a millionaire at the end of the day. And that's why we can joke on him. We can talk about him. We can say, hey, this is a learned lesson. He forgot the plot, so on and so forth. You know why? Because Shannon is still a millionaire, and Shannon is still going to get to the bag. 2 years from now, Shannon is going to be doing just fine. He's going to be just fine. And instead of him just sitting on his laurels and saying, yeah, I'm the man at Fox, I'm the man at ESPN, yep, I got the bag and all of this other stuff, he said, all right, I'm going to take this visibility, I'm going to take what it is that I've been able to build, and I'm going to build something in addition to that, and this is going to be the primary, and everything else is going to be secondary. But I'm going to put all of my energy, nightcap, on it every night. ESPN, he was kind of part-time. Nightcap, I'm on it every night. The Shay Club, Shay Shay, we're going to run that every single week. He never rested. He never rested. And that is that's the most important lesson in this thing, is that you have to have your own things going on separate from whatever it is that you do for a living, so that you are not out on your butt waiting for anybody. My unemployment is me. My insurance is me. Because nobody is going to look out for Anton the way that Anton look out for Anton. And so when I seen my former manager the other day, he been having to pivot. He had to take a position. He did some consulting. He wound up, and now, and of course, men, they grind, they hustle, and they going to land on their feet. But the main thing got to be the main thing. You work on the thing part-time till it becomes the main thing, and then you let everything else be extra on top of that. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get to it. Yeah, we got to get into Gilbert Arenas shortly. But Shannon, that was a huge lesson for us. And again, I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe even a little bit. I don't even think a little bit that he was a part of doing the thing that she accused him of doing. But when you're a public figure, you got greater expectations. J. Ben says, I will never vote for chicken curry trying to cosplay as curry chicken. Them tub greens weren't fooling nobody. Fries in the bag, please fix your lies. Shout out to J. Ben. Yeah, I'm not ever going for that either. Latoya Blue, what up, Latoya? Says, I remember those white women were on Cammy's Zoom call crying about abortions. Yes, they was. Beat It Up Kool-Aid says, Anton, I rock with you, but hear you talk about other cities and crime. But I rock with you, but here you talk about other cities and crime. But Detroit has been in the top 10 most dangerous cities list for the last 20 years, and you rarely say anything about it. Oh, I was the number one person that was on Detroit. I can't keep explaining this to y'all. I spent the first 4 years as a content creator documenting the decline of my own city. I was the person that explored all of the abandoned buildings and showed all of the architecture and the crumbling infrastructure and the problems with the city and highlighting all of the things that was going on, 100%. But now that we are doing well and now that we are on the upswing, I do occasionally put a story in if it's big enough for me to talk about it. But I was the person that was the hardest and the most critical on Detroit when Detroit was at its worst. That was my first million-view video, was exploration of Detroit and the city and the Pontiac Silverdome and all of that other type of stuff. I was the person that talked the most negative and the hardest on the city. And now that the city is in the upswing and now that everything is going well, I don't go by per capita stats and crime. I go by the real life, what is happening in the city and is it transitioning? And it is a phenomenal city. It is great. It is awesome. And the transformation of it, and I stayed and I invested my money here, and it is going awesome. Tell them they clearly don't watch the show. They clearly don't watch the show. So, you might have just got here and you might have just discovered me. So you feeling some type of way about it. But it's okay. If you live in one of the cities that I hold accountable, then hold your leaders accountable. I need y'all to get out of y'all feelings and y'all emotions. I'm not the person that's running y'all cities into the ground. We're operating at a budget surplus. We're operating, in a space where crime is down. We're operating where schools are prospering. We're operating where there's record investment into the city, right? You're operating in whatever respective cities that y'all are in. Denver, Chicago, Los Angeles, so on and so forth. You guys have $1 billion budget deficits. Go and talk to your mayor. Call your alderman. Call your city council. Call your governor over there, J.B. Pritzker. Call Gavin Newsom. Get mad at them. Don't get mad at me. The only thing I do is I react to what's going on. I don't necessarily determine what happens in the culture of your city. I'm not even a part of your city. He's a first-time watcher, Chris Cunningham. Seems like it. Seems like it. Go and talk to the people that's in your city. Don't get mad at me. It is what it is, big dog. Smarty McFly says Diddy on Club Shay will break harder than Cat. Diddy on Anton Daniels. That's what we need to get. I deserve that interview. Just gave me an idea. I'll pay a bag for that. Honestly, I kind of want to just hear you conduct business with folks, AD Patreon type stuff. But I can't do that for the general public because according to them, I'm only worth $50,000, right? Didn't somebody tell me that before? Anton, they say you only worth $50,000, so you only got $50,000. Jerry says AD got Forrest Gump suitcase on his head as a helmet. I had to get a makeshift helmet. I had to do something. Sarge says, AD, men over 50 money for grands, not for young hoes. Facts. Preach, AD. Number one rule, says James Watts. The university says it was all good just a week ago. Yeah, he'll be all right. All of us go through stuff. Everybody go through stuff. All right? Let's get into Gilbert Arenas since we're in celebrities that are they're trying to take down and get arrested. Gilbert Arenas arrested for allegedly running an illegal gambling ring. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is a summary of it.
Alvin, former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has been arrested and is now facing federal charges for allegedly running an illegal gambling ring out of his San Fernando Valley home.
Arenas, along with several others, were arrested today. One of them, a suspected high-level member of an Israeli organized crime group. Arenas has already made his first court appearance, facing a judge this afternoon in downtown L.A. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade live in Encino with more. Mary Beth.
Yeah, and Mike and Chair, as the hours wear on, I'm getting to read these court documents a little bit further. And so it appears that the illegal gaming up here at this Encino mansion began back in September 2021 and then came to a screeching halt the night of July 19th, 2022. That's when the feds raided this Encino mansion. And at the time, there were 26 high-stakes poker players inside, as well as a lot of staff that were made up of young women, chefs, valets, and security guards.
You're asking me, I'm telling you.
Former NBA All-Star turned podcaster Gilbert Arenas was allegedly running illegal high-stakes poker games out of his Encino mansion. Arenas, who the feds dubbed Agent Zero, and 7 others, including a suspected Israeli international crime boss and a West Hollywood lawyer, have been charged in a federal indictment. The former Washington Wizards player is accused of renting out his Encino mansion on Gable Drive for the illegal games, which were allegedly hosted by his co-conspirators. According to court documents, Arenas texted one of his co-conspirators this picture of a poker table in connection to the games, which allegedly took place from September 2021 to July 2022. A neighbor recalls seeing unusual activity and scantily clad women during that time frame.
Well, just mostly people coming out at all hours of the night.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Found her. Found the person that told. Found her. Found the person that told. When you live in an environment where people care about the property value and the property taxes, they are not having that ghetto nonsense coming on and playing on inside of their crib. Found her. That's it. That's the person that told right now. The person that's saying, oh, man, I didn't know the news crew was going to be here, is the person that's interviewing with the news crew. That's the person that's the person that said it. She called the police. There's some scantily clad women that I don't know if they're running a brothel in that place or what. That's it. That's the person. That's it right there. I don't know, because I didn't know that we had Airbnbs available in this neighborhood. I thought that was outlawed per the city code violation 8216573. If we can get somebody up there, you might want to just bring SWAT and just arrest everybody, because it might be some really dubious characters running inside of here. That's it. That's the person that said it. That's it. She's it. That's it. Been in the neighborhood a long time, didn't expect for any basketball players to move in. That's the person that told on Gilbert Arenas. But I'm going to give y'all a little bit more insight of what I believe this really is.
Usually I'd see women, though, coming out. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning and taking off with whomever in a car down the street.
The alleged Israeli crime boss, Yevgeny Gershman, is accused of hiring young women who, in exchange for tips, served drinks, provided massages, and offered companionship to the poker players. The women were charged a tax, a percentage of their earnings from working the games.
The more people you have who are willing to engage in stuff that's illegal or high risk puts us all in certain situations that we don't want to be in.
Arenas and several of his co-defendants have been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business and 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business. Arenas was also charged with 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. Yeah, he apparently told investigators that he didn't know what was going on up here at his Encino mansion. And we have learned that the mansion was sold a few years ago and now operates as a drug and alcohol rehab facility. For now, reporting live here in Encino, Mary Beth McDade, send it back to you guys.
So this is what I believe was truly happening. And then we're going to get over into Gilbert Arenas's reaction to the whole thing, because apparently he got bonded out of jail and so he's out, right? So I believe that this was nothing more than a very, very, very high stakes home game that they decided that, listen, if we gonna be here, or you gonna bring your friends here, oh man, you bringing this guy here or whatever, so on and so forth. Yo, we need to have some women in here. The women can, in order for them to want to do their thing, that they gonna have to be tipped out right. We gonna rent it out. We gonna play it differently, and so on and so forth. And so I believe that this was a high stakes home game. Doesn't look like it's an illegal gambling operation, because that is what the headlines are going to say. They're going to say that it was, oh my God, he had the Israeli guy. He probably didn't even know half of the people that was in there. Oh, you got money? Oh, you running it up? You vouch for this dude? Okay, cool. Of course, they're going to have armed security in there, because you got millions upon millions upon millions of dollars worth of people that are in the room. And so they're going to have security in order for people to feel comfortable. Why? Because when people get word of a high stakes game, because word travels around, there's always going to be the jack boys that hear the same word. I'm telling you, there always is going to be jack boys who have that same ear, because it's not going to skip over them and go to the next one. The jack boys, the thing that gets robbed the most a lot of times is regular home games that they can predict when they are going to come. So you had the home games, you had the different people that was there, you had all of this stuff going on, you got women, you got drinks, you got money flowing and all of that. And so now all of a sudden it's an illegal home game, because the state wants all of the money. They want they cut, they want their taxes, they want all of that. And so because you're not operating an above board game, then they are going to make an example of you, and they are going to post you on a front in order to try to say, if y'all keep having these home games, and we going to raid them and we going to throw y'all in jail, and y'all going to have to get lawyers. Do I think that anything is going to become of this? No. Do I think that he really did anything that was crazy? I don't. I believe that they was just operating very high-end home games. That's it. Honestly. Guys that got a lot of money that want to play poker, amongst other guys that's real cool in a safe environment, that got the women, and you can win a lot of money, and it's a competitive thing. That's what I believe that was really happening. Honestly. But anyways, Gilbert Arenas was bonded out by his girl or wife, and this was him leaving the courthouse or leaving the jail.
Arenas.
You better not.
Can't hold me, baby. You can't hold me. Hello.
So he was just...
All right, so today we're recording a magic trick.
So basically, he didn't trip about it. I don't think anything is going to become of this. The only reason that we're talking about it is because he's a very, very, very big public figure. Now, the one thing that I will say is, if he was possibly working on any deal, because I know that he recently appeared on ESPN. He regularly makes appearances on different platforms. If he was willing to license out maybe like a Gilbert Arenas or something like that to these other platforms, maybe those deals could possibly be in jeopardy or something like that. But Gilbert Arenas, he running up a bag. He got great sponsors. Again, I said that this is one of the benefits of creating your own, is that you don't have to worry as much about something happening to you, because your contract is laced with morality clauses that would then prevent you from being able to do whatever it is that you want to do. And so I think that he's going to be fine. I don't think that anything happens to Gil. Again, they put in these big charges, maybe so that they can nail down some of the other people that was a part of it. And then people was sitting there jumping on the bandwagon and saying, well, what about the Israeli guy that could be tied to the mob or some other junk like that? And man, stop it, bro. Stop it. It's a chill home game. Everybody was trying to, have fun and have a good time. And you always have a much better time when liquor and women is involved. All right. So that's the way I see it. Nothing major there. I think that he'll be fine. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with 10 notifications. I'm going to read a couple super chats, and then we're going to get into the real estate part. Because I seen a video, a little bit of a video that I wanted to react to. And I figured we just do it together. This was for a billable hours case. Yeah, probably. Jay Hunter Lee says Gil has always done stupid stuff going all the way back to the Wizards. Yeah, but at the same time, he's still been able to be marketable and profitable and run up a bag. So Gil is going to be fine. I ain't thinking about Gil. All right, y'all. Let's get into this whole real estate thing. Because Ish from the Joe Budden podcast, some of you guys may recognize him. Some of you may not. Some may not. Maybe not. A little bit. Ish had a conversation on a podcast where he was talking about the black community in real estate. Now, for my snow bunnies, for my snow hares, for my Asian people, for all of these people, I will say to you guys that I think that this could be applicable to everybody. So maybe he's referring to the black community in particular, but listen to the message. Don't necessarily get caught up in the rhetoric. And then we're going to mine it out from there. So anyways, let me show you what he had to say, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts.
Break it down for a person like me, right? The real estate, what do they call it? Conferences, the workshops? What are they like? Those seminars. Those seminars, right? How does one differentiate what is actually being said and what the goal is? Like,
everybody goes different.
Okay, so what? Like, give me 3 different versions of those seminars. Like, is it all asking for people to invest into something, or is it knowledge, is it education?
So a seminar, right? Depending on who's giving it, I've been to a bunch. They didn't ask me for money to invest with them. When I paid my money, I paid money for information. I paid money for guidance. I paid money for tutelage.
Gotcha.
I didn't say, yo, I'm going to give you money and you spend my money for me.
Right.
I found out how to take my own money and spend my own money.
With their information.
And this is one of the first lessons in any game. Not just real estate, but any game. I've never sold a course in my life. I've never sold investment advice. I've never even created an investment company for people to pull their money together. If that's what other people want to do, fine. I have no problem with it, whatever. But I think that it's more important to give the information, right? To show the receipts, for you to be giving information based off of your own real lived experiences versus selling some people something. Or more importantly, there's nothing wrong with selling a product. But more importantly, telling people to give me your money to invest for you. I never understood that. I never understood how black people were so gullible to where they were willing to throw their money into something, expecting these high yields and high returns. And it ain't just black people, because that's the same thing that Bernie Madoff did. Bernie Madoff gave the illusion and was like, listen, if you want to be a part of this, you got to be given 100 million, 200 million. There were whole investment firms, whole pensions that was investing with Bernie Madoff based off of these high yield returns. Bro, do you know how almost impossible it is to yield a return year over year of above 20 and 30 and 40 and 50%? That's insane. That is insane. If you can get a 10%, 8%, 12%, 15 is pushing it. 15 is pushing it. Way pushing it. You know how hard it is to get that type of return year over year and guarantee it? And man, people believe in that nonsense. So I've always believed in the method of you teach people how to fish and allow for them to fish for themselves. The only time that I want to partner with somebody is if you do something from an expertise perspective that I don't do, but then I have something to do that's even, that can add value. I'll give you an example. I know phenomenal chefs, phenomenal cooks, phenomenal personal service style people that really understand the game in the restaurant industry and so on. I don't want to deal with the day-to-day of a restaurant industry. So what I would rather do is partner with somebody. I'll bring the money. You can bring a little bit of money. I'll bring a lot of money, and then we'll invest in this thing. You run the day-to-day operations, and then, I'll leverage expertise when it comes to business insight and marketing, and then we'll do this thing. When we're coming together because you do something great and I do something great, or we know each other. That's what I believe in. As far as I don't believe in taking other people's money. I don't want nobody else's money. Because if I take somebody else's money, then I have to be responsible for it. I don't want that. I'd rather give you the insight on what I did and let you make your own decision. I don't want to be responsible for nobody else's money.
I think what happens is, and again, a lot of this is in our communities, when you start seeing shiny shit, a nigga give you their mother social security number, you got some shiny shit. So I could pull up with a lamp, I could have a Cherokee, and I could be 50 houses in our community. And niggas would be like, man, fuck out of here. I could have 2 houses and I could pull up in a Ferrari and niggas be like, yo, where you want me to sign?
Yeah, they believe
you want me to sign some shit? Yeah, what's up, man? Let's go. Right? So I think that when those things happen, everybody is throwing money at you, and we come from a society of quick flip niggas. Drugs made us flip money. Right? 1 get you 2, 2 get you 4. Like, we come from that. Whereas really quality investors, if I could get niggas money, 10% on their money, I would have a line down the street of some of the wealthiest motherfuckers on the planet. A great stockbroker gets people 10% of their money.
At least.
Great. If you get some of the people in our community 10% of their money, they're like, man, I don't want that shit.
I need more than that. I need the investment plus more.
Shit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we like big money. We don't want slow growth. That's one of the hardest things for me to teach people. One of the most difficult things for me to convince people is, listen, man, people will come in here all the time. Hey, man, Anton, what would you do with this? What would you do that? I could tell their spirit. I could see it on them. I could see it in the way people talk. That they're looking for a quick, 6 months, we're going to put our money into this. We're going to get this much back, and then we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. I'm not on that. Everything that I say, everything that I do, and that's the benefit of being consistent for years. I say everything is a 5 to 10 year play. Everything I do, I'm thinking 5 to 10 years down the line. I'm thinking, all right, so we going to compound this because that's how people really get rich. Most of the time, people in the hood, black people, the community and all of that, they're looking to get a quick flip. They want a ball now. People that are in the industry that understand the game, they understand that it's going to be highs, lows, it's going to be ebbs and flows, it's going to be ups and downs. But over a period of time, after it compounds, that is the way that you get really, really rich, and we understand it from a net worth perspective. People want that Lambo money yesterday. I got this little hoe, she want this now, bro. I'm trying to go to Roof Chris and Ocean Prime and bust her down now, bro. I'm trying to get this chick over to my crib and fly her out and put her in the crib now, bro. I'm trying to show off right now, bro, and that's why we got so many people in jail. That's why so many people get finessed. That's why so many people lose their money. That's why so many people lose their pensions. That's why so many people lose their 401ks, is because they looking for the now money. Nobody has the endurance money. Nobody got that long-term money. Nobody thinking about the play money, the long-term. It could take me 10 months, 7 to 10 months, a year to build a house. I could build 2-3 houses at a time, 3-4 houses at a time, scale up once I learned the business. It took me a year. I did the first one, and I'm like, okay, now I understand the game. So now we doing 3 to 4 at a time, right? Because now I'm patient. I'm patient. I did the research. I made sure I did one so that I can understand the ebbs and the flows. I took some L's on that one. Like, there's some things I could have done more efficiently and saved some money and all of this, but now I know the game. So the first year I learned the game. The second year I scale. The third year I'm off and running now, right? But we don't have the patience. And even with that, people kept telling me, Anton, you can go and get the money, go and leverage this and do this and get more money in order to build way more. I said, nah, I'm going to just do it out of my pocket. Nope, I'm going to just do it cash. Nope, I'm going to do it what's in my pockets. But the banks is calling. The banks want you. Well, why do you think that the banks want me? Because everybody that was in the real estate game that was selling courses, everybody that was at the seminars that was preaching to you on stage, everybody that was telling you that you can get it for this and just take the hard money loan, guess what? Ain't nobody got no money, and everybody crashed and burned because they suffered. Because when the pandemic hit, when this happened, when the renters ain't there, when they can't carry the mortgage, when, you know, your mortgage is due or whatever, so on and so forth, when they want their hard money back because you got a high interest on it, but you didn't make the deadline, guess what? They all went broke. They all went broke. That's why you don't see nobody selling courses no more on real estate. That's why you don't see nobody giving seminars no more on real estate. Honest to God, this is the real truth. It's the same thing when it came to the box trucks in the trucking industry. Same thing when it comes to real estate. Same thing when it comes to this. If you do it slow and you do it the right way, you insulate it against the BS. And then we go and buy the stuff that everybody else defaulted on because everybody told you to run out there and go grab this money and then get the hard money loan in order to flip it and all of this other type of stuff. But that's a bunch of BS, bro. It's all a bunch of the BS. And so I do it slow. I learn my lessons. I take my hits. I figure out what the do's and the don'ts are, and then I do it better the next time. And then I do it better the next time. And then that's when we run. And the banks is going to call you because the banks see that you got these assets and they don't have no piece of it. That's the play. The banks is trying to figure out, okay, well, how can we give this guy money? How can we, when you have stuff, when you have money, they're looking to throw as much money as they can at you because they know that you're a good steward with it. They know that they know that you know what the play is. Man, he own this. He don't got no mortgage. He ain't got nothing on it. He ain't got a HELOC, no mortgage, no nothing. Every time I go to buy a piece of land and they say, okay, we need proof of funds. And so I screenshot of my brokerage account. I'll screenshot of my brokerage account. They looking for me to get a bank loan. They looking for me to get the construction loan. They looking for me to do this. Every time I buy something, they say, hey, okay, so we need proof of funds. Because a lot of people be calling and shucking and driving and saying that they want to go to escrow. We need proof of funds. All right, when you want to go to escrow? Next week. Next week. I knew Keith, Nixon Keith. I knew it. I knew who he was. I knew he was an agent. Next week. Cash out. And then the guy asks you, all right, so, you know, you plan on building it? What you got? You get an extra. No, I'm going to do it cash. We're doing 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 it cash. Every single time. We're going to do it in cash. But everybody telling you how to basically get yourself caught up. You're going to get crashed out. You're going to crash out and ain't nobody going to be there to save you. I've seen it. Oh, man, my 43 years on this earth, I've seen it time and time again. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. It's a method to it.
Yeah. And then we see these reports, oh, this stock is up 197% over 2 years. That's not normal. That's an outlier. That's not normal. Traditionally, real estate appreciates at 3 to 5% a year. In the last 4 years, that shit is up 80, 90%. Houses that you would have bought for $500,000 in 2020, they $800,000 now. That's not normal.
Let me answer this question really quickly. I don't usually answer questions for people that don't have no profile photo. MVP says, so Anton, how you feel about Pace Morby? I don't know who Pace Morby is, but I'm going to answer the question. He says, fund flippers with other people's money. I believe in using my own money and owning 100% of everything. I don't believe in using nobody else's money. I have a rule, and it's called minding your business. It's called minding your business. Minding your business means that it means put your own money up. If somebody tells you to invest in something or, oh, man, you should get this stock, I want to see you did it first. Because why you telling me, but you're not taking your own advice? Doing it like that is the fastest way, because see, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to absolve yourself of responsibility. When you use other people's money, you're trying to absolve yourself of responsibility if something happened so that you're not affected. That's basically what it is. And you're trying to do it too fast. And I've also found that people that try to use other people's money, they're not as vigilant, they're not as focused. They, you know what I'm saying, they reckless, they move differently. Use your own money. Put your own money up. Invest your own money. And I'm going to own 100% of it. And flipping is a dirty game too.
Yeah.
So we see the headlines grab us. And so when the headlines start grabbing you and you see a quick flip, you quick to throw some money at it without doing your due diligence.
Right.
So I'm not excusing somebody. If somebody took somebody's money and they ran away with it, I think that's immoral.
I want you to stay on the more. Oh, no, keep going.
But I don't know what these guys are doing, so I'm not going to speak. I do know that during COVID, real estate investors got their asses whipped.
Facts.
Right?
You feel like it's a lot of get back these days.
No, nigga, you had the president of the United States get on TV and tell people they didn't have.
They 100%. Let me, Barry with no profile photo says, you can't screenshot your proof of funds. They want PDF statements. That is the biggest lie ever. It's the biggest lie ever. Listen, they don't want PDF statements. That is a lie. I have done this dozens and dozens of times. When you call somebody and you call a broker, not even a broker, but you call the real estate agent or you call whoever it is that owns it, they want proof of funds. All you got to do is log into your app, use your Face ID, open up an account, screenshot it. You can text it to them. And so I don't know how many properties you've bought, but I bought dozens. Dozens. And you 100% can screenshot proof of funds and go to escrow next week. As soon as the titling company call you, you can go to escrow within 1 or 2 weeks and close that deal with a cashier's check right there on the spot. Right there on the spot. 100%. I don't know what you talking about. Usually when people talk like this, I know that they ain't never really did no deals. I know that they never really did no deals. So I don't know what you want, but you 100% can. 100% can. I might even be able to pull up an old text message to show you some of them.
Have to pay rent.
Yeah.
So if you was a nigga that owned 500 units, you had 500 doors, and 250 people stopped paying rent, what the fuck happens to your business?
You was pissed off.
You have no bailout. Your mortgages got to be paid.
Paid regardless.
You understand?
Yeah.
Nigga, my shit was fucked up.
So they didn't give anybody, homeowners, any liens, any breaks?
If you
Did
had
they
a
give you
single
anything?
family house, yeah. Like if it was
Okay.
your primary house,
Right.
they didn't really give you a break. They took the money and put it on the back end of your mortgage. You still owed the money.
It's not right now.
But now, investors don't use regular banks most times. We got private money, we got hard money, we got shit like that. Nigga, they want their money.
Yeah.
You're an investor. You're not John Smith, the homeowner.
That doesn't excuse anybody from doing anything. If I give you my money, regardless, if you ran off with it, you ran off with it. I'm not concerned with whatever you got going on as the homeowner.
What you mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but look, you're an investor.
Got it.
I got screenshots too. Text messages and everything.
Hey, Anton.
Hey, Sarah. I don't know if you remember me. I bought some property through you before.
Yeah, I do. On Southfield, in Southfield.
Yep, I remember that. When I originally sent proof of funds, did I just send a screenshot of my bank account?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Because for some reason, I was talking to somebody on another deal, and they were saying that, Anton, you wouldn't be able to send proof of funds with a screenshot of your bank account. You would have to send a PEF and stuff. And I'm wondering, what is that something new?
No, I mean, if it has your name on it, a screenshot should be fine. And I think at first it didn't, and then you sent me like an account that had your name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they might just be being strict. I would maybe, but no. Normally, as long as your name is on the account, like a screenshot would work.
Okay.
I've had people buy like cash, almost like 400,000 with just a screenshot of a bank account. So.
Oh, okay. All right. I got some new property that I want you to look at that I might be finishing up too.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, send it over.
Okay, I'm gonna be in touch with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
I'm always amazed when people try to tell me the deals that I've done. I'm always amazed when people will tell me, jump in my chat with no profile photo and saying that I'm lying about the information that I'm giving you and the ability to be able to buy something. And I'm like, how you gonna tell me? And I do it all the time. See, that's the thing. I got receipts. I got real people that I work with on a regular basis. I bought dozens of property, cash. Anton, send me over proof of funds. Screenshot my bank account, send it over to him. We go to escrow within 2 weeks. I don't need to sit here and argue. That's why I be requiring people to get a profile photo, because I don't know if they just talking. I don't know if they talking about something that they heard from somebody else. Boy, I will teach a whole class on how to get money. I breathe money. I write checks all day, every day. All I do is field opportunities and write checks to people in order to close on deals. That's my whole shtick. I was in a city today writing a check and giving it over to the cashier, over to the treasurer's office. I don't know who these people be talking to. Like, I'm big dog. And you need to be thankful, because I'm giving you information a lot of times that other people gatekeep because they don't want me to tell y'all this information. And it's so unfortunate, because instead of taking it at face value and saying, all right, I'm going to get a pen and paper, I'm going to rewatch this segment of the clip, I'm going to go to this timestamp, or I'm going to just take in the information, because I try to do the entertainment thing along with putting the medicine in the candy. But the fact of the matter is, instead of you taking it from a person that actually lives it and does it, because we don't really have no people on YouTube in the community that's really doing it out of their own pocket, that really has the receipts, that really has leveled up in corporate America to the point to where they can give you some insight on how to get there, that really open up businesses, bought, failed, been successful, that does it in the real estate space, that actually shows their portfolio. You don't have people that'll show you the real receipts. But instead of us taking the information and taking it at face value, people want to sit there and try to prevent you from giving the information to other people. But I'm determined that for the people that want the game, for the people that want to change their mindset, for the people that want to learn, for the people that want the information, in addition to the entertainment, I'm determined to press through. And I'm not going to let anybody, any Dusty or any person that wants to disrupt and not act. And that's why I don't mind making phone calls, showing the receipts, showing the bank accounts, showing the numbers, showing what's happening behind the scenes, showing my account. I don't mind being that transparent, because we need transparency. We need for people to be able to show and prove, instead of people just going on stage and talking and doing their little TED talk and proclaiming that they have when they haven't. We need proof from now on. So we just going to keep on doing it. We going to keep on pressing through. And it's important for me to show y'all this type of stuff, or to make a certain type of phone call, because they will lead you astray with misinformation. They will tell you something that's not true, and y'all will run off and believe it, and you'll be out there making bad deals or coming up with bad solutions to problems that don't even exist, because you're leaning on your own understanding instead of somebody. I'm 43 years old. I got a 43-year-old. I got 3 lifetimes worth of knowledge that I'll probably forget before some of this stuff I even teach you. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Like, grow up and learn something so that you can get yourself out of poverty, so that you ain't out here looking dumb. It's so dumb. Like, and y'all, half of y'all be letting these people distract y'all from getting your bag. I don't like the way he said it, but do you like the information?
So when you put your money up, guess what happens?
At risk.
You could potentially lose. Nigga,
so easy.
You're not guaranteed a fucking thing. When you go to Goldman Sachs and you say, yo, Microsoft is doing X, Y, and Z, and then Bill Gates get caught up in a scandal and the stock go to the ground, you don't call Bill Gates on the phone and say, give my money back.
Probably should.
You don't call Bill Gates on the phone and say, give me my money back.
Okay.
When you invest in Nabisco, or you invest in NVIDIA, or you invest in eBay, you don't call them people on the phone and say, give me my money back.
This is just a different scenario, though. This isn't not a stock. This isn't, hey, I'm giving my money into the stock market. I'm giving this to somebody I trust. I'm giving my money to somebody I trust, a lump sum of money, and I'm expecting some type of return. Now, if neither one of us make a return, cool. The problem is when you get accused of stealing, it's you made the profit and I lost out on what you gave me, is what people are being accused of.
I'm not defending them.
Okay, but I just want to be clear on what you're saying makes sense.
I'm gonna
but
address,
what's being
no, I'm gonna address what you're saying.
That's not the story.
But that's wrong. So the stories don't always come out true. These niggas is losing their shirt. They are liquidating their personal assets right now. These niggas is not making money and everybody else lost their money. And again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm shooting them bell. I'm telling you now,
it's a lot of people out here that played it the wrong way, that didn't do it the right way, and they are absolutely positively going broke. There are a lot of people out here that was running the game, selling the courses, telling you all of this stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I want to allow for everybody to be able to, stay in the chat, right? As long as they're not super disrespectful, let them have their opinion, let them say, because it's a lot of people that's been selling a lot of stuff and they no longer here. They're no longer here. They no longer in the game. They're no longer doing deals. They no longer plan the business. And so as a result, that's how they move. I'm going to give you the long-term play. I'm going to help you to understand how to be able to make a better decision. Even if you decide that you don't want to get into the real estate game, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have the knowledge to be able to see a deal if you see an opportunity and be able to capitalize on it if it just so happens to fall in your lap. That's the goal. That is the goal. All right? I don't care about, donating to no schools and all of that stuff. I want you to have the information, and we all getting a lot of money. The question that you got to ask yourself is, what are you going to do with it when you decide that you want to move a little bit differently? What are you going to do when you decide that you move a little bit differently? Somebody told me that proof of funds has to be PDFs, right? Let's break this down. I'm a cash buyer. Proof of funds is nothing more than vetting for the person that can actually be able to purchase your property. So when I pull up with my cashier's check, they don't care. They just want to make sure before they move into escrow and they call a titling company that you have the ability to actually execute on the deal that you said that you was going to do. They don't care about whether it's a PDF. They don't care if it's a screenshot. They want to know that you are a real person, that you're not just taking time out of their day, that you're not pulling a leg when a title company shows up, that you'll actually be able to execute and get things done. That's what they care about. That's the whole reason why they ask for proof of funds in the first place. And I only have to do it once. Why? Because now they know me and I've done business with them. So most of the people that I do business with now, they don't even ask for proof of funds because we've done so many deals together. Anton, you want this prop? Most of the time, a lot of times before it even hit the market, they call me. Hey, man, I got a good deal on this. You want to take? Is this something that you want to play on, or should I let it hit the market? All right, when you want to close on it, how soon can you get the titling company there? That's how it plays out. That's how it plays out. So, y'all got to grow up. It's people that's doing big deals. I'm not looking to do the same type of stuff that everybody else is doing. I want to be exceptional. And in order to be exceptional, you got to do things outside of what the normal people do. If it was for everybody, then everybody would be doing it. That's the lesson. That's the game. That's the game. As when you big dog, you don't even need no proof of funds. You just got to have social proof. You just got to have social proof. Let me read some of these cash apps. Make sure that we all good before the day. Read the super chats. We got after hours tonight, y'all. Ronald Staten says, "Are you interested in hotels or motels?" I wanted to have a hotel at one time, like a boutique hotel. I don't know anything about that. I've never been a part of that business. So if I could do some adequate research, if I can better understand exactly what that business is, I'd love to do some learning so that I can figure out if that's an investment opportunity for me. But I don't know what I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything about the hotel business or anything like that. But I would love to learn, and I would love to see if that's an investment opportunity for me. If you got something that you can show me, or if you got something, a deal that's on the table that you can run by me, and you know, I can put my people and my lawyer on it or whatever, then we can figure it out and we can vet that out. 100%. I've always wanted a boutique hotel. JP says Stephen A lost half of his co-hosts in 72 hours. Yeah, that is wild. Nichelle says the feds and lawyers are running up the real bag. Facts. Billable hours. Mr. Joe says you hear about Marcus Morris, NBA twins, was arrested for stealing $265,000 from casinos. He was denied bond and awaiting extradition to Nevada. No, I heard he got arrested, but I didn't know what he got arrested for. Let me go and do some research. All of these guys made all of this money and they over here. If you're a landlord, you're hustling backwards. Interesting. All right. I would love for you to tell me how I'm hustling backwards. I'm greedy for this information, AD. I need it all, says Alexander. Shout out to Alexander. Country Boy Finesse says, would it be okay sell some investments for a cargo van or keep saving money? I currently use my personal automobile so far. Van I found is $800. You should be able to come up with $800 on your own, bro. If you think it's going to improve or you think it actually adds value to your business and you can make more money with it, then get the $800 and then replace the money that you took it out of. Nichelle says, AD, you always talk about not selling grandma's home and the next block club. Can you expound on this? Living in the inner city, I want to buy more cash properties, but squatting is a real concern. Yeah, I could talk about it. Block club is next week. This week is content creation. Block club is next week. This week is content creation. Absolutely. You got to remind me though. Jay Thomas says, what's up, y'all? Just joined the Patreon yesterday. Tyrone says, AD, thanks for the game you give on a daily basis. That comment about funding screenshot proves that ninjas think they know everything yet achieve nothing. Best show on YouTube, hands down. Thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate you. Yeah, I just so happen to have a subscriber that it's crazy. Anyways, you guys are the greatest audience on earth. We back at it tonight. Shout out to Ephraim. Ephraim just joined the Patreon. We back at it tonight on After Hours. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Stay safe and focused, y'all.